Good evening. Welcome to the Laugh and Monkey Music Show. Tonight we have Jane on from Imperial Age. How are you doing tonight?
Hello, people. I'm absolutely fine. We had just huge snowfall yesterday, and today the whole city is absolutely collapsed, and I'm happy that I'm sitting home and speaking with you.
Wow. So how much snow came down? Big? How big was it?
Yeah, just the biggest for the last 50 years, I think.
What?
Yeah.
Like how many inches? Like crazy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I live in New England in the U.S., and so when we get snow, it's like a lot of snow is like 8 to 12 inches, and that's a big storm. So we've been getting hit pretty big, but I can't imagine what you guys get there. Gotta be crazy.
Yeah. We used to have a lot of snow, but not that, not that much.
Yeah. Everyone's been saying that it's gotta be the global warming. I don't know. All right, so we are here to talk about your awesome band and get the word out. Who haven't heard of you guys? Would you use the term symphonic metal a good term for you guys? I know sometimes there's labels. Sometimes bands like labels, sometimes they don't. I just want to fairly put it out there.
We just don't care about the labels.
I agree. I think it's powerful. Powerful music is just it's and for anybody who's European metal has always been very strong and big sounding. I think that's great. Let's start. Your band when you first started off was like 2011, 2012. When
2012,
did you first start?
Yes.
2012. How to start? Who was you and you had a co?
The founder, the main founder, the main ideologist is Alexander, and he had a band before Imperial Age. It was called Revelance. It was total shit, if I can say that. So they were mostly drinking booze instead of rehearsing and playing music. This standard amateur band, I think in every country you have tons of such bands.
Yes.
And they apparently quit playing music because they could not agree about some money, as it usually is. And then I think in 2010, me and Alexander, we decided to take a break for 2 years and to prepare everything, like we called it back then, professionally, So we decided, okay, let's take a break. Let's write and rewrite, record some songs, prepare everything, hire musicians, not our friends, but hired musicians, session musicians. Let's shoot some music videos. And so we were doing this for 2 years. And in 2012, we finally came up with Imperial Age.
Well, I'm going to add, just to sneak in for a second here. I think what's great is you guys are not just, like I said, we're like a normal rock band. You guys are more of a full professional, like a production. More, it's going to sound. There's a whole thing to it. It's not just a couple songs. It shows in the videos. The production there's a concept. Everything it fits together as a theme, which is fantastic. So when you guys came out of the gate, you guys came out pretty strong too, because taking that time was good because you guys played with a lot of really good bands right off the bat. And
actually, the creating the band's name, like Imperial Age, it took us, I think, almost a year.
Really?
Yeah, because we decided that the band's name, it has to mean something. It has to have some meaning inside it. So it was really tough.
Now, do you still like it?
Yes.
Okay,
sure.
That's good. No, because like Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters, he just threw out a name, and now he's like, he always says, "Oh, I wish I thought of a better name," because now I'm stuck with the name because he just threw it out to be fun. So you take
there are
a year
a lot
to think
of
about
bands
it.
who, why not changing it? There are a lot of bands who changed their name.
I think it's a good name. I think it fits the band. I think now when you started, did you have the idea for the theme? I mean, you guys have a really type of a theme for your music too. Was that from the very beginning, or has it evolved?
We always were into all this, how do I call it, alternative history things, about
that's a good way to put it too.
Yeah. So Atlantis, Hyperborea, all this stuff, and we still do some energetic practices like yoga, qigong, and all this. So we're really into all this occult, alternative history, kind of magic things, and this is what we're singing about, actually. So all our lyrics, it is about this. It is about the ancient civilizations, about the history, alternative history of our planet and of humanity, and about some spiritual development things.
It's really good. It's really different. The lyrics are very different. I encourage everybody to sit down and listen to them and read them while they're doing it. And I also think just like reading the lyrics separately sometimes when you're not hearing the song, reading it like it's a story. You can do that with your lyrics. Some bands you can't do that. It's just they belong with the music, which is great. Different types of music for different types of things. But yours is more along the lines of you can actually read it separately and kind of like a story. So you have a lot of different vocals in your band. Everyone has their own little spot. How'd you come up with that?
At the beginning of Imperial Age, Alexander was the only singer, and I was the keyboardist. And then I don't remember the year. I'm very bad with learning numbers, so I do not remember it. Once when we were supporting Therion in St. Petersburg, I think, Christopher Jonsson from Therion, he watched our performance from the beginning to the end, which is kind of strange for supporting acts. And then he said us that, maybe female vocals will do better for your sound than male vocals. And we decided to try to hire a female singer and try to see how will it sound with a female voice. And then we finally came up with the idea that it is not enough to have one type of vocals for our music, and then it is the more types we have, the more different voices we have, the more
layering. I would say
more
vocal
free.
layering.
Then we can write music freely without thinking about will he be able to sing this note or not. So it is better for composing.
I think it's also part of the reason why it sounds so powerful. It's huge. It's a huge sound vocally. I mean, you had been singing not so much before. You're totally singing now, just 100%, right? You're not doing keyboards at all. You've moved forward, correct?
Yeah.
So prior to that, so you sang a lot when you were younger. Or was singing newer to you since you've been in the band? Were you were you singing like in school and like keyboard and piano classes and as a youth, and then kind of type of thing?
No, I had nothing of this. None of this.
No way.
Yes, actually, I have almost no musical education at all. I've started to
hidden treasure.
learn. I started to having private lessons for piano. I don't remember, maybe in 2010 or something like this. And then I added vocal lessons for this. And now I still have vocal lessons, but I have no musical background at all.
That is insane to hear that. Like, I literally felt like you were like classically trained. Could you go back? Yeah, I've been listening to you, and I'm like, what? I'm actually gotta take a minute. Think about that for a minute.
My first vocal teacher, she was my first teacher. She was a classical opera teacher, because this is the only type of vocals that we have in Russia. I think that that we have teachers that who can teach you only the classical opera singing. There are no extreme vocals teacher official. I mean, of course we have a lot of people who can sing extreme vocals, growling, screaming, and everything you want. But yes, my first teacher, she was a classical opera singer, and that's why I started with this too, but now I want to switch to more pop singing, like different, I don't know how to call it, chest voice maybe or something.
No, that's good. That's incredible. It's funny. I think a lot of musicians, when they learn any kind of classical singing or playing, is a real good basis for anything you use for the rest of your life. A lot of musicians have said that they start out learning classical anything, and then, the education is great. And it's fantastic. I can't believe that you just started so quick. Like, you literally decided to start playing keyboard around the time you started this band.
Actually, yes. And when we had some shows, I just learned my
your part.
My parts, yes, and it were the only things that I could play. So it is still impossible for me to read the notes and play simultaneously. I cannot do this. No.
You know what though? I'm gonna tell you right now, if you put 100 popular musicians in the same room, 90 of them can't read music. I talk to them all the time. Most musicians can't read music. So you are not alone. You're right there. See, you're right with your peers.
Woo.
Congratulations. I can't believe that. So like, that's literally like just like saying I want to do something. You just go out and do it because the band just came out. Like, so like, you guys toured. Let's go back to, so you guys were, I guess you guys came out pretty good, and came out pretty strong. Your videos, you've always had a concept, and then professionally, you're found on your tour, not found, but you established more with Theron, really kind of helped you guys out.
Yeah,
great
they
name,
helped us.
Great name, great reputation. I mean, if you're gonna have somebody help you out, well, I mean, that's the man you want, right? That is
actually, it was our dream becoming true, really. That time when we met Christopher himself and realized that he really wants to help us, it was like, wow.
I can imagine. That guy just drips talent. He is just so talented. He is great. It's so great when I hear like somebody, an artist like that, and they grow onto some other band and they propel them. And that says a lot for you guys too. The talent that he sees in you guys. Which is really it's great. So let's go pick back up where you guys. So you're on tour. He starts watching you guys. He starts getting involved. He starts suggesting some ideas. The lineup changes around a little bit with singing and keyboard, playing for you. Excuse me. But at that point, when you guys were writing songs, was it a shared duty for songwriting early on, or was it like individually everybody writing their parts in? How was that for songwriting?
Usually, Alexander writes the most parts, all instruments, everything, all arrangements, all vocal parts. Sometimes if I'm around somewhere, I can listen to this and point to some parts which I do not like. So basically, my role is to choose the parts which are shit for me, and I said, don't do this, you have to change this. Actually, we are open to any ideas from our musicians if they have ones. They are absolutely free to suggest anything they want, but the final decision is still for me and Alexander to decide if this we will take for a new song or not. So basically, most work is done by Alexander, all music, all lyrics. This is all him.
Well, it's funny because in some bands, like, you have everybody writes and everybody fights and everybody does this. And a lot of bands, though, you have like one or two people that the final decision comes down to. And a lot of times that works out best because not everybody can always agree, or there's a vision to the band, and clearly you two are the vision to the band. Has your songwriting, as you've gotten better and played more, not that you were bad before, but as you, on the outside, no one would probably even know the difference, that you weren't trained early on or not. But as you've gotten comfortable in your own voice and the songwriting process with Alexander, like, have you been like, oh, I got an idea? Because your ear is being developed now. Have you started kind of coming up with like lyric ideas and melodies and stuff yourself now since you've been doing this?
Yeah, exactly. Actually, if we compare our old songs from 2012 and our new songs, that these old songs, they are, it is harder to sing them because the vocal parts, they written in such a way that it is hard to really to sing them, because they were written on a keyboards.
Oh.
And that's the different melody, different changing of notes. But now both Alexander and me, we try to write vocal parts by singing. Okay. Not by playing a keyboards, but by our voices.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah, and I really happy. I'm happy that we can do this, because it makes songs really easier to sing for vocalists.
Yeah. I think that's probably wise. I don't know, like with you were saying on the keyboard, I know a lot of bands also have to do after a while. They're like, they can sing it in the studio, but then like live touring, it's different. Your voice changes, it's the temperature, the room, everything changes environmentally, and you can tune a guitar, you can tune the heads on a drum. Your voice, you're at the mercy of touring. I know a lot of bands, excuse me. So they'll tune down, they'll sing down lower key register or something because of that. And then a lot of them will also say, I wish I knew in advance I'm gonna be doing this for so long in my life, because I would be writing the songs a little bit lower. Because as you get older, your voice changes, that they regret having songs like when I was a kid, I could sing on 20, I could just go right to the sun. They're like, now, not so much. I hate this, and they have to go down. So you guys are singing and writing more in your register right now. So hopefully it'll be more forgiving as time goes on.
Yeah, and actually, I think now we just realize that there is no need to showing off, like, see, I can sing this note, but it is so fucking hard. And when you have to sing it 10 times in a row when you're on tour, it is absolutely impossible. And now just we write in melodies which we like. They don't have to be super extra high or super extra difficult to think. They just have to be beautiful, because nobody will evaluate your musical professionalism, your vocal skill.
No.
People will just listen to the music without thinking of how difficult it is to sing.
100% right. You're 100% right. I mean, you listen to, that your range. I mean, people don't listen to the high notes; they listen to the song. Listen, like me, you look back, you played, some of your bands you played with, Epica and all them. Are you going, oh, I think the notes should have been higher here? I think you're like, no, that's a really good album. Those are some really good songs. You already know that they can sing. You know that those performers can sing ridiculously good. So just because you can do it, I mean, doesn't mean you have to do it all the time. It's kind of, you know what I mean? It's just sometimes it's just too much. And I think sometimes
because we don't have music, a competition here.
Yeah. No, but sometimes I think in pop music, there's certain types of music that they sing too much. I think to me, it becomes a whole part of the song, and it takes away from the song, and it kind of ruins some singers' song performances, because you're like, I get it, but it's too much. Like the same thing with guitar players. You got to be tasteful. You can kind of shred a little bit, but people want to hear a song.
Exactly. Yeah.
So the Warrior Race EP, and then the Legacy to Atlantis. You feel there's a big change between the two, like musically, from being on tour and touring? And I mean, I think that was I think you kind of, turn this on, turn this on off. That was a great starting place for you guys. Actually, that starting place is probably better than most bands' ending places. It was probably because you planned it like it was a business. It's crazy to think about that. That is it's so crazy. It's like, I want to be a doctor, and becoming a doctor. But so you start off that, and then you do your stuff, and you touring and stuff, and then Warrior Race, which is another strong album. Once again, like steps, you're building up. Legacy of Atlantis comes out, total game changer, in my opinion. I don't know if you feel the same way. If it's like,
yeah, I agree. It is absolutely different. Probably that's because of changes in the lineup. Because in 2016, if I'm not mistaken,
yeah, though the album was around 18, came out at 18. Warrior Race, I'm looking at the dates here because I'm horrible with dates. But the dates for Warrior Race EP came out in 2016. The release date I'm seeing, and then Legacy came out in 2018. So I was trying to make sure I was in the right order. So
yeah, but back in 2016 or 17, when we had when we supported Orphanland and the tour, almost not almost. All our lineup has changed. Only Alexander and me remained.
Wow.
And since then we have we work with the guys for today.
Mm-hmm.
So for almost 5 years now we have um, our current lineup with Anna, Max, Belf, and Paul.
Yep.
And The Legacy of Atlantis, this album, it was recorded with these new guys. And starting from The Legacy of Atlantis, we have 3 vocals, and probably this is one of the points we changed our sound, probably.
It's great. And then that leads me to, well, actually, before we get to that point, I'll talk about your live album, the newest thing. So your musicians, now it's more of a family, it sounds like. 5 years together, a stronger album, really reflects upon the band. Usually the album comes out when the band's together. Sometimes very few bands can keep making better albums as the band falls apart. Now there's some bands that have done it, some rock bands that have done it, Dokken. There's a few bands that they just fall apart internally, but on different types of music. Earlier on, was it more musicians that were just kind of working for you guys, and now the band's evolved more into friends, or was it kind of like just a mixture of finding the right thing, a little, personalities?
Of course, we have become friends.
Of course.
This is absolutely unavoidable when you when you toured so much together so many times.
Of course.
But still, we maintain some business interactions, and we still, Alexander and me, we still do not want to share any ruling parts in the band, so we still want to keep everything in our hands.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we absolutely love our musicians. Yes, we're kind of family, and we will support them in any aspect of their life, but still we prefer to have all the ruling parts of Imperial Age in our hands.
But that's the thing. You could have a small business and be like a family.
Yes.
You still need to have some bosses in charge that run the company.
Yes, exactly. And actually, during all these years, we saw that, at least for us, this way works better when we have absolute totalitarianism, in our band.
Yeah.
It works better because everybody knows what he or she should do in what time. And one day, I don't remember when, during a tour, the guys from the venue, they were amazed how quick were we able to remove all our stuff from from the stage. And they were, wow, you're like in the army. And we said, yes. Yes, we created an army.
That's good. It's very professional, but it's also, I mean, then you can have fun afterwards, But and it says a lot. The legacy of the band will be able to go on. If something happens and you have, over time, somebody has something with a family issue or a health issue, or it's not going to stop you guys. You two are the main vision, and the band can continue on. No one's going to be like, oh, I'm going to take the band name and fight you in court, or, I'm sure you've been able to read online all the battles of band names that have gone on horribly, you're like, no, it's our name, and we are the vision, and we are a big part of the sound, and the sound hasn't gotten weaker; it's gotten stronger. I mean, I think it's fantastic. So then you had the live album 19, but then do you have another the newest album 220? It's actually it's almost like a live Atlantis version, right? That one. It was what was it called?
No, it is still not released. We're in a process of composing the new album, which should be released in 2021, I think. I hope.
Oh, Live on Earth I'm talking about. I'm sorry. That's what I'm talking about. I had to pull up. I was listening to that last night. That's fantastic. Let's talk about it. Explain.
Actually, we had a plans to release a new album by the new year, I think, by the new year 21. But it did not happen, as you can see.
No.
Right. And now all our hopes are to the 2021, and probably somewhere during this year we should do this, because we have time. Actually, for the last 2 weeks we had no time at all, because we fired a girl who were doing all our shop, and then during the 14 days we all, including all our band members, we all were packing 300 packages in order to send them to the poor customers who were waiting for a long time.
Hey, that is grassroots right there. That's what you do. You are in charge of your army. You get right down with your soldiers. You roll up your sleeves.
Yeah, exactly.
It's 100%. That's when you're in charge of a business. That's what happens, right? Somebody doesn't show up for the store, you're running the cash register. That's it. So this album, the Live on Earth one, how'd that come about?
This is actually, I've never thought about it as about our second live album yet.
It is. That's what confused me. And I had to stop because I looked at that, but then I also have like the dates of some of your other stuff in front of me, and I'm like, am I getting the titles mixed up? Because it's like a live album and a live album.
Yeah.
I like this one a little bit more. Maybe it's the songs on it. I don't know. It's good.
It was like, I don't know, it was very exciting endeavor to make this online show in April 2020, because back then it was a total lockdown in Moscow. It was impossible to go outside your house without having a special QR code.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was the I think there were the most restrictions. Now we have almost none restrictions in Moscow. Just
really?
You have to put face mask when you're going in some public places.
Would you say there's a code you had to have to get out of the house? Like, would you say a code? You said to leave the house originally, there's a code?
Yeah, you had to have a QR code if you wanted to drive somewhere around the city. And we managed to get these QR codes for all the people who are involved in this live translation, a live show.
Yeah,
it was really hard, and we were rehearsing before the show. We were rehearsing a few weeks in, let's call it, secret place, because all places where the bands were rehearsed before, they were closed, and we had to drive outside the city to a secret place. So actually, yeah, it was just crazy time.
Wow.
Crazy time, but
it paid off. It paid off.
Yes, and
huge.
Unexpectedly there were no fuck-ups. No fuck-ups, not even one. I've never seen this before. Anytime before any show, something goes wrong. Something does not work. I don't know, someone's late. But that time, no fuck-up.
Awesome.
Crazy, absolutely crazy.
You guys really just knocked out of the park too, like with like views for the stream, the live streaming, for the show. It was great. The number of people that watched it was huge.
Yes, the number of people watched and the amount of money donated, it was just totally crazy. When we finished the show and Alexander opened his PayPal on his phone, we're like, what the fuck?
It was, you guys should be proud of yourselves for that. That's a nice little badge there. That's awesome.
Yeah, but more than for ourselves, we're proud for our fans, because I think
it says a lot. I mean, you know what I'm saying is, like, in this economy, it's across the world. I mean, we can always go like, everyone's governments are always going to go back and forth. But the truth is, people like me and you and our fans in every country are all the same. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't. It doesn't care about governments. Without the governments, we'd all be hanging out without an issue.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Everyone. So that being said, it says a lot when, as a community, as a music community, that all around the world, people are affected by the virus financially.
Yeah.
So when they can give to you something, it's even that much more precious. And
Exactly. Yeah,
it says
that's
that
exactly
much
what I
more.
wanted to say. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Your English is, like I said, fantastic tonight. So don't even. You are speaking so clearly and so succinct. It's great. It's not like a lack of words, but I just want to say it shows a lot though. When I heard that and I read that, I was like, that is a huge thing. You know, for you. That's congratulations on that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Really, just to end this, where so when you talk about you had an album, is your album done? Are you just holding it for release when the virus is over, or what? Are you just kind of finishing it up?
We're still composing things. We recorded 2 songs, like trial version,
Yeah.
just to try to see how they will sound. But still, it was quite difficult to find some free time to sit for a few days and dedicate these days to composing only, because everything everybody tries to grab your attention for
Yeah.
like 1 hour 5 minutes, but still you got distracted.
I can hear that. I think what's really great is I want to wrap this on this one. People will put up all your links and everything underneath the website once they see the show, but also people go to your website, they sign up to your, it's like a newsletter, online
Yeah.
newsletter, get 7 free songs. Pretty
Yes.
cool. Pretty cool. So
Actually, I think that these newsletters, this is the thing that any independent artist should establish, because um, I don't know, labels could die. All, I don't know, social medias could
yeah,
appear and die. But if you have people on your mailing list, then you have people on your mailing list, and they will not disappear just in one day. So this is basically I think one of the main things that allows us to live from our music, to have to earn some money from our music.
I think it's great. Do you guys control all your music too? Do you guys have all the rights to it, and or is it shared with
Yes,
a
of
label?
course, sure. Yes.
Now listen. Generationally, I'm a little older than you. All I have, if you look back on American TV music shows, they're always about the artist got really screwed over by record labels and stuff. So it's nice to see that most bands own all their stuff, can put out their stuff, have control over their stuff. So if
Yeah,
something happens
exactly.
to a label, the label goes down. They're like, I have my songs, I wrote them, I have the masters, I have 100% control over this, the artwork, because if I'm sure you've seen a lot of bands, a while back, we're like going through like a bunch of different labels, and like each album was at a different label, and like you don't know who controls it, and you can't control your own music. So once again, having control of all your own music is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I think that's why Taylor Swift re-recorded her first album.
Yeah, that's you guys have been a great model for a lot of bands to follow. So that is fantastic. Well, I want to thank you for being on the show today. It's been great catching up with you.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was really a pleasure to chat with you.
Well, thank you. I'm sure it was kind of like, you're like, who am I talking to today? I'm sure it's always different when you talk to somebody you don't know. I understand. So
Actually, not.
Well, everyone check out your music, check out the website, check out everything's going to link. They're a great band if you haven't already heard of them. Hopefully, when the virus ends, 221, maybe a big tour.
Oh,
Maybe
yes.
we'll see you sometime in the next couple of years over at the States on a big tour. Be nice to have
Yeah,
you
that
go
would be
on a
great.
tour. Yeah, it would be awesome. I'll be there. All right, Jane. I want to thank you for being on the show. You have a good day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a
Yeah.
good day.
Bye
Okay.
bye.
Bye.